Hi, my name is Sam, and I'm going to help you take your first 2 or 3 steps into the world of crypto. Many of us haven't taken our first steps because there's too much information. We don't know where to start. We think we're not technical enough. I'm going to break it down super simple so that anybody can at least take their first 2 or 3 steps into this world. Right now, we are witnessing the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Our economic system, our social networks, our databases are moving on to this new technology, which is the blockchain, also known as crypto. And these databases are fractionalized, so we can actually start owning the new internet. And that's a pretty cool development. So in the digital space, we may end up in very different places depending on what type of investor or creator or worker or entrepreneur you are. But our first steps are shared. And that's what I'm going to be diving into in this video. Now, our first step in this world is buying our first Bitcoin. I think that is a great milestone for a complete beginner to achieve. Once you've bought your first Bitcoin, you can take a breath of relief and enjoy that you are now owning a piece of our digital future. Now, Bitcoin was the original blockchain technology. It's been around for about 12 years. It is the largest. It's coming up to about $1 trillion market cap. And although there are, let's say, more technologically advanced, faster blockchains, Bitcoin was the OG, and it does have the largest brand, the largest global adoption. We're now into about 300 or 400 million users of Bitcoin. As we move into a 10% adoption, we're reaching tipping point, and that's when things are going to get really, really interesting for the people such as yourself who are taking the time to learn and get involved. Now, there's no CEO of Bitcoin. There's no LLC that runs and controls this blockchain technology. It is a distributed ledger. So it's a ledger that is unfolding itself and recording every transaction that happens along the way. We can actually even choose to see the details of each of these transactions. It's a very transparent, uncorruptible, unchangeable type of ledger. So as we enter this boom of innovation in crypto, a lot of us are reminded about the 90s when we went through this dot-com bubble and we saw all of these different technologies that were being developed, different websites that were going to change the world. And we're seeing that same thing inside crypto. So I think why Bitcoin is the most secure first move is as we go out and we experiment and innovate in these newer technology and newer blockchains, we're always going to come back and consolidate into Bitcoin because it has one of the most simplest use cases, which is a store of value that will maintain its value, right? Because we now have hundreds of millions of other people who are storing their value in this technology as well. Money is essentially belief. So as we experiment our beliefs on newer, more advanced technology, I think we're always going to consolidate back into Bitcoin, and it's going to serve as what many people call digital gold. Now, there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin, and that creates scarcity in a digital environment where you can copy and paste everything. So the scarcity of Bitcoin is, I think, one of the strongest narratives that's going to support the value creation, the growth of the Bitcoin network. Now, I consider Bitcoin both a network and a database, and I think I'll come back to that definition quite a bit. To use Bitcoin, you don't actually need to know how it works technically, as many of us don't know exactly how the US dollar, for example, works between the Treasury and the Fed, and how they are managing the money supply. But it doesn't stop us from spending our entire lives to create and to earn that money and use that money. So we don't need the entire world to understand the technology of Bitcoin in order to arrive to global adoption. So Bitcoin is the first step, and the safest way into Bitcoin is through a technique called dollar cost averaging. Now, if you have $10,000 to invest in this asset right now, you have an option to buy $10,000 of Bitcoin today at $43,000 per Bitcoin, or you could dollar cost average into Bitcoin, and that would mean every week you're investing $1,000 into Bitcoin, and that over the long term, which this is a long-term growth asset, will secure you the best price possible. Now, if you were to buy $10,000, maybe the Bitcoin price corrects to $20,000, and you've immediately seen a decrease in your investment. Now, if you're buying $1,000 and each week, you've diversified that entry point. And that does get you the best price into an asset that we all believe is inevitably growing as more people learn and discover about Bitcoin technology. I don't see people unlearning and learning about Bitcoin and then not valuing it. Everyone who learns what this technology is and the implications of it begins to value it. So the most secure way into the asset is through the dollar cost average technique or strategy. If you don't have this strategy, you'll be succumbed to emotions, and when you see the price running up, you'll be spending larger amounts on the runs up, and you'll be spending less and buying less on the runs down, which is exactly the moment that you should be buying an asset that you believe in long term. So you can see here, the data speaks for itself. Each one of those lines is the average price you would be paying for Bitcoin if you dollar cost averaged into Bitcoin each week from the beginning of the year. So this is from January 1 of each year. If you were to dollar cost average into Bitcoin, you would be getting much lower average entry points into Bitcoin. So the technique speaks for itself. Okay, so now that we're dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, we need to own it in some way, right? We're becoming our own bank because when we own our Bitcoin, we're actually starting to have custody of our money. You can do it in two ways. So there's two types of wallets that you can house your Bitcoin. They could be in a hot wallet or a cold wallet. A hot wallet is a wallet that is connected to the internet in some way. It is the recommended first step. So taking your first steps into crypto probably means you're going to be opening up a hot wallet on an exchange. I'm going to show you how to do that in the next slide. So a hot wallet means there's a connection to the internet. This makes it really accessible for you to send and receive Bitcoin, but it also adds a vulnerability because whatever is connected to the internet, there are hackers that are looking to get access to that value as well. So do keep that in mind, and as you start building wealth, the highly recommended next step is to get a cold wallet. Now this might be a USB-like device. I'm also going to give you a couple examples of what that looks like as well. But that disconnects, it takes your keys off of the internet and creates a layer of security from these would-be hackers. So now that you're becoming your own bank, you do need to be concerned that you are becoming your own bank security as well. Don't worry, a few core sets of skills will allow you to do that. So where can we buy our first Bitcoin? And don't worry, you don't need to buy an entire Bitcoin. The price today is around $43,000. You don't need $43,000 to buy a Bitcoin. In every Bitcoin, there are 100 million Satoshis. So you can buy $5, you could buy $10 or $100 or $1 million of Bitcoin. That's completely doable. And the best place to do that, in my opinion, if you're in the US, is Coinbase. One of the more popular ones in Latin America is Binance, Binance.com. But I've also put up here a few other options in case you know what you'd like to start doing with your Bitcoin. These are also some exchanges. So opening up an account here is very straightforward. You're opening up an account just like you would a bank account. You're presenting your ID, so there is a know your customer on these exchanges. And then you're connecting your wallet, your bank account. So when you've opened your account, you're connecting your bank account, your credit card or debit card, and purchasing your first Bitcoin. Now, each of these exchanges will have tutorials that will walk you through how to exactly buy your first Bitcoin. Do make sure that you're on the correct website. There are scams out there where people clone websites and make you think that you're on the website. So make sure that you're going to the official website each time. And then once you've bought your first Bitcoin, you can get a cold wallet and actually remove the keys from the exchanges. You'll remove your Bitcoin from the exchange. So when you connect this USB-like device to your computer, you'll have to go through a setup phase, and once again it should come with instructions depending on which model you get. But this adds that layer of security, and this is a cold wallet. And now, especially after you've understood what's happening and you're ready to move on to a cold wallet, do this as soon as possible because, again, you are becoming your own bank security. Congratulations, you've bought your first Bitcoin. Now you're dollar cost averaging into a asset which has a lot of long-term appreciation. The only thing left to do now is to just hold it. So now that you've bought your first Bitcoin on an exchange and then you've moved it onto a cold wallet, congratulations, you've taken the first steps into the crypto digital jungle. It really is that simple. There's a lot of noise out there and new projects and new scams and new things going on. The first steps are open up an exchange, open up your hot wallet, buy your first Bitcoin, and then move it onto a cold wallet. Once you've done those three things, you are leagues ahead of the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. We are really starting to understand and see through the centralized financial system that we've been using, and Bitcoin is the pioneer of the technology, which is providing us an alternative which brings more transparency, accountability, immutability to the way we do business and the way we record our interactions together. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, give a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what else I can help you with. I'll see you guys in the next video.